Sometimes I just want to pick up my guitar and quickly learn some fun riffs, so that's what we're doing today. We'll be taking a look at how to play 5 iconic metal riffs that you'll be able to get down in no time. These riffs are great for beginners, but they're also just really fun to play in general, so I think anyone at any level of guitar playing experience can have fun with this video. And just quickly before we get into it, I want to say thank you to Cort for sponsoring today's video. This is their X700 Duality 2 guitar, and it is an awesome instrument, and I will tell you more about it later on. So now let's get into the first riff. Breaking the Law was one of the first songs I learned to play all the way through, and it's just such a fun riff given how simple it is to play, so let's learn it. So the beginning of the riff is this. And to play that, it's just open A, followed by 2 on the A, and then 3, and then just repeat that 3 times in total. So the next part of the riff is, and that is pretty simple as well. You just play 1 on the E string to 3 on the E string, and then open A, and you repeat that again. And then you want to play 3 on the E string to 3 on the A string, and then 2 on the A string. And for the 3 to 3, you can kind of just bar with your finger so you don't have to move it, just kind of rock your finger to play the 2 notes there. So altogether that part is... So that is the entire riff, and you just repeat the whole riff twice in the opening of the song, and then at the end of the second time through, you end with an open A power chord, and that is just open A, and then 2 on the D and G strings. So yeah, that's the whole riff. Now let's move on to the next one. That riff from Enter Sandman is just so cool sounding. I think it's something that every guitarist should learn. So yeah, let's learn it now. So slowly the riff starts out like this. And that is just the open E power chord here, which is just open E, and then 2 on the A, and 2 on the D. And you hit that twice. And then you'll just want to slide with your 3rd finger on the A string up to the 7th fret. Like that, it sounds really cool. So. And then with your middle finger, you want to hit 6 on the E, followed by 5 on the E. And you can add some vibrato on that 5. It sounds cool if you do that, so. And then you'll just repeat that whole riff 3 times in total, so you have. Before you go into the next parts. In between each iteration of the riff, so once you go. And before you go back to the E power chord here, you can do a little percussive palm muted chug on the E string that gives it a bit more rhythm. It sounds cool, so it would sound like. I think that really adds something to the riff there. Then after you play that through 3 times, ending with this last time, then you'll have this next part here. So that part starts out with an open E palm muted note, and then you just play the power chord on the 3rd fret of the E string. Open, no palm muting there. And then you go into this part here, which is a lot of palm muted power chords. So you have the open E string palm muted, and then the palm muted power chord here at the 2nd fret of the E string. And then just do that again with the open E string, and then that power chord again. And then move up to a palm muted power chord at the 3rd fret of the E string, and then back to the 2nd fret E string power chord again. So that whole part is. And then just go to the open E power chord. So altogether slowly that part is. Now with that open E power chord here, you just go back into the riff again, so. And yeah, the second time through it just ends with the power chord there. That was one of the first Metallica riffs I learned to play, and it's really fun. Sounds really cool. I really like that slide to the 7 there, and also just add some vibrato. on the 5 on the E. It makes it sound really cool. So yeah, I hope you have fun with it as well. Now just quickly before we get into the next riff, let me take a moment to tell you about the Cort X700 Duality 2 that I've been playing today. Since Cort sent me up this guitar last year, I've spent a lot of time with it and I really enjoy playing it. It's really comfortable for me and it's just a really fun instrument overall. I think the guitar looks awesome. It's a really unique finish. This one's in Polar Ice Burst, but there's also a red one if you prefer that. And yeah, I just love how the guitar looks overall. The specs of this guitar are great. Some of my personal favorite highlights: the guitar has 24 stainless steel frets, which is awesome for fret longevity. It also has Fishman Fluence open core classic humbuckers, and they sound great and provide you with so many different tone options. You have the 5-way selector switch, and then you also have a push-pull on the tone knob here that gives you even more options, so you'll never run out of different tones that you can achieve with this guitar. The guitar is also equipped with locking tuners, which makes string changes very quick and easy. It has an ebony fretboard and lumen lays on the side. So yeah, this guitar has pretty much everything you could want specs-wise in a professional instrument. This is the first Cort guitar I've personally tried, and I've honestly been really impressed by it. So if you're interested in checking it out for yourself, I'll have a link in the description. Thank you again to Cort for sending me out this guitar and sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. All right, now for the next riff. Phase Train is another riff that sounds awesome despite being relatively simple in terms of complexity, so let's learn it now. I believe Randy Rhoads downpicked this riff entirely, but you can alternate pick it as well. Whatever is most comfortable for you works. So this part here is just hitting 2 on the E string twice, and then you go to 4 on the A string, and then back to 2 on the E string. So, and then you want to use your pinky to hit 5 on the A string, and then go back to 2 on the E string again. So you have, and then you play 4 on the A string again, followed by 2 on the E string again. So altogether we have, and next we have this part. And that part is just 2 on the A string, followed by 5 on the E string, and 4 on the E string, and then 5 on the E string again. So, and then you want to go back to the 2 on the A string, and then 5 on the E string, and then 4 on the E string, and then open E. So altogether that part is, and then after that you just restart the riff. So for the intro of the song, you'll just repeat that whole riff 3 times, and then on the 4th time through, you'll start the riff the same. But then it does this to end that intro riff there. I've seen multiple different ways to play that ending there. You could just do power chords, but on the recording it sounds like there's more notes going on in those chords. So what I'm doing here for this part is just the open A string, the open D string, then 2 on the G string, and then 3 on the B string. And then we have this big E power chord here. So that's just the open E string, and then 2 on the A string, 2 on the D string. And I'm actually just using my index finger here to mute the G string because I don't want that note in the chord. I know it looks like I'm playing it, but I'm not. I'm just using it to mute that note. And then you want the open B and E string as well. So we have really big sounding chord there. So altogether, the ending of the riff is, so that's the whole intro riff. It sounds awesome, and if you're newer to guitar, it's also a good exercise to get your pinky in use. The main riff from Holy Diver is really fun and quite simple. It's just power chords and some palm muting, so let's learn it. So the riff starts out like this. And that is just the power chord on the 3rd fret of the A string, which is just 3 on the A and 5 on the D, and you can add in the 5 on the G as well for the octave. And then you just want to palm mute and hit 3 on the A string twice. Don't hit the rest of the power chord, just the 3. So then you just repeat that 2 more times. So altogether we have, and then after that you want to move up to power chord on 5 of the A string, and then to 6. So altogether. And then you want to go back to the power chord on the 3rd fret of the A string and do the, and then hit it again, and go 5, 6 on the A string again. So all together. And then you want to come down to power chord on the first fret of the A string. So altogether that part is. And then you just want to repeat that last section of riff again. And then go. And that is just a power chord on the third fret of the A string, and then the power chord first, and go back to the third. So all together this whole part of the riff, which is pretty much all of the riff, is. So that is the whole riff. You'll just repeat it again, starting with. Except the second time you play through it, the ending, this part here, is a little bit different. Instead of doing that, you'll do. And that is just the third fret power chord on the A string to the first fret power chord on the A string. And then you'll go to the fourth fret on the E string and do a power chord there. And then you'll just slide that power chord up to the sixth fret. Like that. So yeah, that is the whole Holy Dive riff. This is a great one to get down if you're working on moving around your power chords and also on palm muting. The opening riff from The Trooper is definitely a classic and super fun to play, so let's learn how to play it now. Like many Iron Maiden songs, there is a harmony guitar playing along with the main guitar riff, but I'll just teach you the main one today. So starting here, you want to start by hitting 7 on the A string 3 times, and then on the third time you want to pull off to 5 on the A string. And then after that, you want to go to 7 on the E string, so all together. And then you just want to move that exact pattern down 2 frets to 5 on the A string, so all together. And then very similar idea here for the next part. And that is just 3 on the A string 3 times, then pull off to 2, and then 3 on the E string. For that one, I like to use my middle finger and then index finger. So all together. And then you have this to transition to starting the riff again, and that is just 5 on the A string, followed by 5 on the D string, and then go back to 5 on the A, and then go to 7 on the A. And then after that part, you just restart the riff again. The last note in the begins it again, so. And then after that part, it repeats, just play along with the actual song. You'll get into this part here. And this part repeats a lot as well before ending with. This part sounds really cool. It's not too complicated, though you might have to get used to doing the trills if you haven't done that before. So it starts out by hitting 8 on the B string, followed by a really quick trill from 8 to 7 on the B string. And then you want to go to 7 on the E string, so just rock your finger from where it is on the 7 on the B string to 7 on the E string, so. And then go back to 8 on the B string, so. And then do the trill again from 8 to 7. And then hit 8 on the B string again. And then after this, you want to go to 9 on the G string, hit it twice, and then hit 7 on the G string, and then go to 8 on the B string again, then back to 7 on the G string, and then hit 9 on the G string again. So, and all together. And then that just repeats a bunch of times. I think it's like 8, but just play along with the actual song. And then the last time through, the riff ends with a little power chord part. So it goes. So that is just the power chord on the 5th fret of the A string. And then you go to the power chord on the 5th fret of the D string. And then you go back to the 5th fret A power chord. Then you end up here with the 7th fret of the A string and the 9th fret of the D string. So that's the whole intro riff from the Trooper. It's a really good one to have under your fingers. The trilling part might take a little bit of time to get down if you haven't done that before, and so we'll getting things up to speed, but yeah, hope you have fun with it. All right, we made it through all 5 of the riffs. In my opinion, those are 5 of the most iconic sounding metal riffs that are also really fun to play and not too hard to get down, so that you can learn them quickly and be playing along with the original song in not much time. If you need to, definitely slow them down to really get down the muscle memory at first. You can slow down the original songs and then slowly speed them up as you get comfortable with it, but I'm sure you'll get them down. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.